Hey guys, Ash here from the Goodison Blues, and this is the match preview for Saturday's game at lunchtime. Everton taking on Manchester United, and a game that a couple of games ago we probably been looking very, very much forward to, and a chance to get a hold on another one of the big boys. After beating Spurs the first game of the season, drawing with Liverpool, a couple of games previous, and then the chance of getting on top of Manchester United, who even before their kind of run of form, they haven't been the best in conceding goals. And I think like the only kind of player you have to watch out for is Bruno Fernandes, and if you stop him, you seem to stop Manchester United from playing. But unfortunately, we've got into that small patch against Southampton, and of course last weekend's game against Newcastle. Two abysmal games and two abysmal performances by pretty much everyone on the pitch. Maybe with the latter effect, you could say maybe Olsen was the only one, or the bright shining spark in the game against Newcastle. It'd be interesting to see. I know Carlo has said Pickford would be in between the sticks, as they say, for the United game. But obviously we've had the last two games defeats, and Manchester United's last two games have been defeats against Arsenal, and then last night in the Champions League they had a bad night in Istanbul. So it means that both teams in essence are going to be on a run of let's go and take it out on somebody, and if we're not careful we will be the club that Manchester United will take it out on, and we just don't want that to happen. Again, as things go, it's very tight over that end of the league, and we don't want to find ourselves in a position by the end of the weekend that we're down into 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and then as the games go on, it's very difficult to maintain the upper echelon, getting back up to the top of that table. So we want to be in those positions by the end of the weekend, and no more place to do it than at home against Manchester United. Obviously, I'd say a number of changes will come in. Obviously, because Goodison has obviously completed his ban, so it means he will start at the expense of Nkunku. James Rodriguez, don't know if he'll be back. Gomez, after his poor performance, will he be put out? Gylfi Sigurdsson, will he be put out? It's weird. Richarlison obviously will still be missing. I think this is his final game of his suspension. Seamus Coleman, I believe, won't be back either. So I mean, John Joe Kenny again will deputise, and I'm actually a fan of John Joe Kenny, but for some reason he's kind of gone against the grain of what I usually say about him. I think the guy has got good talent, but for some reason this season, and the chances that he gets in the side, his crosses just don't get past the first person, and that means we'd be exploited on that right hand side. Score wise, it's a difficult one because you don't feel any positivity or any think we're going to get anything from this game. So I think I'll come up with a 1-1 draw. Obviously, of course, being a blue, I'm hoping that we beat them and take them to shreds on the park, because we need to take out our frustrations on somebody too as well. I'll go with a 1-1 draw, and again relying on Dominic Calvert-Lewin to get our goal. I think we'll go ahead and then we'll equalise. And knowing Manchester United's luck, it will be Fernandes penalty more than likely. But like I said, let's hope that we are in the better frame of mind when we come out on the pitch on Saturday. It's you can't put your finger on, with the exception of that our squad is just not deep enough. Once our 4 or 5 key players come out of that side, we're down to average, and that's just we just have to face that the squad just hasn't been big enough, and the players that come in, they're not taking their opportunities and not playing well. Now people were kind of on different social media platforms, on YouTube, were saying, we know it was going to be hard because we were 4 or 5 players out. Well, so were Newcastle are missing 4 or 5 players as well, and I can't think of the other one, but John Joe Shelby is obviously one of the key players for them. He was missing, and 3 or 4 others. So they were in the same predicament as what we were, but yet they were able to still put in a performance and take us to shreds in a sense. So we can't just use that, format that we're basing ourselves on 3 or 4 players, because once those 3 or 4 players are out, what will happen is we'll get into a rut of not winning any games, and you'll find that, like your man Callum Wilson admitted, by the way, that he cheated to get that penalty, saying that he knew he was going, so he jumped in to make sure that he got kicked at. And what will happen is then you'll find that other players will target Richarlison, target James Rodriguez, target Seamus Coleman, target Alan, our main key players. And what will happen is if we lose them to either suspensions or injuries, that's going to hurt us in the long term, which means then we can't, Gomez coming in. People have been slating off Gomez as well, and I have as well, but I think it's firmly because that injury. Once you get an injury like that, you're never the same again, and I just don't believe poor Gomez is ever going to be the same again unless he gets into wherever he plays in the side, that he has protection around him, because once he has the ball at his feet, he can find the pass. But to get him to do anything else with the ball after that seems to be an issue now, and he seems to have gone really, really slow. Same with Gylfi Sigurdsson. He's not going to chase anything down for you. And if he does, he looks as slow as anything doing it. So we can't rely on Dominic Calvert-Lewin to get all the goals. We can't be relying on Richarlison to, what we've seen of him this season already. When he loses the ball, he tracks back like crazy, and he's nearly in a left back position, winning the ball back, and then starts to run again. So we can't rely on that. The other guys have to dig in now and give in that self. So Fabian Delph, as I said, had a decent enough game when he played the other day, but again, it's whether he can stay fit, will he come in and replace with Gomez and all that kind of thing. Anyway guys, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. Hopefully we'll win, but my gut feeling tells me it's going to be a draw, 1-1 with Dominic Calvert-Lewin putting us ahead and Manchester United equalising by a penalty. That's my gut reaction. Anyway, that's it. We'll talk to you for the match reaction on Saturday evening. Take care and stay blue.